Hey everybody, this is the KANU Chronicles. I'm your host Nate, aka Crash, and this is episode 234 we're jumping into on a sad day, January 26, 2020. It's just been said 2020 all the time now, huh? 2020. Anyways, unless you've been under a rock at this point, by the time you hear this podcast, everybody's has learned that the Big Mamba, one of the best that ever touched a basketball, Kobe Bryant, has tragically died earlier today in a helicopter accident outside of around in Calabasas area, which is probably about 30 some miles from downtown LA, for perspective, from the Staples Center, we'll say, where he played his whole career as a Laker. And this at this point, I heard about it like many hours ago now. I heard about it at about just after 11 this morning, I think it was. And, him and his daughter, I should say, died. His eldest daughter, GiGi, they called her. So, R.I.P to Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and also everybody else involved. There was a really good coach, I guess, from Orange County. So just a lot of tragedy. Obviously, everybody on board died. So I'm sure more details will be rolling out shortly. But the real big the confirmation stuff, that the investigation, that's going to take weeks probably. So, anyways, in the meantime, everybody's definitely mourning this day. There's people gathering down in Staples Center, people gathering around probably different places in the world, I'm sure. I don't know. I haven't sat there and scoured Twitter and so forth, but either way, I could see through tweets and everything, a lot of people acknowledging this day. It's just a real sudden tragedy to a guy who has had just so much success and has a great life and everything that you could even imagine and then some with it, and did it all in his career, more than most, and has done a lot off court as well all through this time. And he's being, unfortunately, more acknowledged now, as this happened. As this has happened, I should say. Not to say that I think he probably would have got more acknowledged. It's just, I think there's people saying, he was kind of getting slighted a lot of times by press, this, that. I think that is true, they just kind of play with people's images, how much they like you at one point, and then later they don't, and anyways, never mind that. It's already apparent how important this man was and is to so many people, beyond just family and people close, but to the world at large in different ways. Even just on a pure entertainment level of being a fan of a game and watching somebody excel to the heights and the likenesses of Michael Jordan, and even make it kind of look even better at times. So, oh man, I always been, I can't say I haven't been a fan, but I wasn't the most vocal, big, outwardly kind of supporter guy. I definitely always appreciate Kobe. Also, sometimes we get irritated with him, but it's just the thing. I watched him pretty much from the beginning. But thing is he was getting into the league as I was still back east, And then by the time I got here, you know, the Lakers just started ascending like super quick. You know, I got here in late 98, so I think that year, definitely the next year, they like went ahead and won, and then it just went from there. And it was a great time to be here. You know, it definitely made it exciting for me, as well as things that were going on in my own getting into LA and going into my career and, you know, all that. I had a lot of things happen quick for me. So, I guess in different parallels, you could definitely, you know, I could definitely appreciate that with Kobe, and, you know, also, like, obviously he I would say definitely somebody that achieved really, really high levels of accomplishment in their field, and much more things too, because of, you know, the money that he definitely made. So he's you know, obviously was able and did a lot more things than I can say I've done per se, and many of us for that matter. And it's nothing to, you know, it's no slight on anybody, you know, it's just to me, I'm just being really honest, you know. I would definitely not put us like all the same guys. I'm just a little older, different, you know, obviously different things. I'm just talking about the times, and, you know, just relating to, you know, that thing of getting into your career, you know, that's all. So anyways, I don't know what else to, it's one of those things you don't know much what else to say. It's not like you have to say too much, but you know, there's going to be a lot to say. I guess I'll say, you know, also I didn't, you know, unfortunately I never got to go and see him live, man. You know, I didn't, I don't know, as much as I was definitely excited for the Lakers, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't like trying to go to games or anything like that. I think it was partially too the money. I know it was a bit, you know, they were a bit high, but looking back, yeah, if I really tried, I could have definitely afforded some games at different times. But I know I'm not the only person. That's just the way it is. I mean, you know, I got to go to, you know, some Clipper games and stuff, but, you know, I that is one thing I should have, you know, I could say I should have probably definitely gone and seen him on the Lakers at the time back in the day. So, especially earlier on. I don't know about later as much. That would have been nice too, but, you know, it would have been great to have been there earlier. But never mind that, man. It's just, you know, he's not the only one. There's a lot of players and stuff. I didn't get to go to a lot of, you know, over the years, I didn't get to go to a lot of sporting events really at large. Forget about just the NBA. As much as I do talk sports and I have watched it on TV, you know, that's a lot of times what I've done. Sporting events I like. I'm just never, you know, I'm not one to like, oh, I gotta always go. And plus, you know, they can get a bit costly to my taste. But, you know, and plus the seat, you know, wherever, it's not the greatest. But also I think a lot of times I would be solo. So I think it's better for me. I like if somebody else wants to go and it gets me excited to go, you know, that's more the way to go to games, in my opinion. But anyways, this one's tough, man. It's sinking in, I think, more and more, and it's it just feels, you know, I don't know about everybody in the city, but definitely feels pretty bad here in terms of, you know, just the realization of, you know, an icon like him, I guess. So, yeah, and the whole thing, you know, it's just, you're losing somebody, you know, it's somebody dying with his daughter, and, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, man, you know, that's pretty tough. This one's pretty, yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot, guys. But yeah, I'm just heading out right now. I'm going down to North Hollywood for a second. This one food truck was saying they're going to give away Philly cheesesteaks. I guess they were just wanting to, you know, doing it out of like kindness type thing about the whole thing. So yeah, a lot of stuff's going on like that. Read something about a florist, something about with the flowers for something, and they just like gave up the flowers. They didn't even ask for money. So there's a lot of maybe like things like that starting to go on around town, but we'll see. This is a pretty big event, definitely a huge event, man. I mean, in terms of celebrity and but also it's also he did, you know, this is a resident of this city, you know, as well for many years, you know, who's definitely probably been in contact with so many people, fans, and, you know, just everyday thing, you know, just everyday, like anybody else, but, you know, someone like himself, much more, you know, he's always seems pretty accessible, even though he was to himself, but, you know, he's you know, you're hearing about it already, you know, all the different things, so, definitely that plays, that's a big thing, you know, it's tough. It's tough when you have something of this nature happen. We haven't really seen this for a minute with celebrity. Like we've had suicides and stuff, but not like a helicopter crash, you know. So I don't know, man. It's terrible, to say the least. So I'm gonna stop for a moment. I'm getting close, guys, and I'm gonna see what's up, and I'll be back. Alright, guys, so I just got home like probably about 15 or so minutes ago. So I ended up going to the Phillyfornia, they're called, at Phillyfornia. You can look it up on Instagram. They were offering free cheesesteaks. So I get there, it's on Magnolia at the Ralph's. If you guys know North Hollywood, you'll know where I'm talking about. But they were giving away everything for free. The fries, multiple orders. I mean, it was dope. I got there in time because I think it was like 2 or 3 hours later. They posted on their Instagram that they sold out. Or gave away, I should say. They didn't sell out, but yeah, I think a lot of people showed up. They didn't even know. The people that were there, like a few of them didn't seem to know, but man, really dope. So I got the fries. He ended up giving me cheese fries, which I wasn't going to argue. I was like, great. And I had cheesesteak with American cheese. And man, can't say anything. I'm trying to, you know, even if I paid for it, I think it was definitely worth what it would be. I think that meal was like about 13 or 14 if I paid for it. So yeah, it was definitely really delicious, great bread, great. Maybe could have used some more cheese on the cheesesteak, but you know, I would just know what to do next time. But otherwise, very well done, chopped in really nicely, and great. The bread, I have to really say, that stands out a lot. So great job on that. And the fries, nothing really special, just simple, good fries. Cheese sauce was pretty good. I feel like it could have been a little better, but still was really good. Yeah, that's all in a nutshell. Don't want to complain. I think it was delicious. I'm not, you know, but I do want to try to give you a little honest, you know, extra to it. But yeah, it was fantastic. Definitely recommend them. They have a vegan cheesesteak, which actually I would like to try that just to see. I'm sure it's probably really good. And they got a few other combination of things, but pretty simple menu, nothing really way out. You know, probably about 10 or 12 items, something like that. They got some drinks there. And, yeah, what can I say? It was pretty nice. So I started off with that. And then I went to my local spot, little bar, and hung out there for a second. You know, people just, you know, they had the Grammys on. Grammys, I watched some of it. I didn't really get to watch it like regular style, so I'm not going to be able to give an assessment. But, you know, anybody likes those artists, I'm sure it was a great night. But, you know, I think it felt really sad. You know, that's the whole thing today. Everything's really sad. And it's a sad day in LA, especially. Yeah, it's a really, excuse me as I take a sip of wine here. But, yeah, I think it's not just LA, it's more than LA. Anybody that followed him, and even, I think, just as the story, just for what happened, it's very sad. That's the thing. You know, beyond just this guy is a famous guy, very good at his sport. You know, he was a father, and he was starting to have a normal life. In a way, you know, never going to be super normal, but, you know, more normal than what he's had. You know, he's able to probably move around easier, less spotlight on him, plus, you know, just being able to be with his kids and focus on other things, not just being consumed with basketball winning. So there's a lot at play with that, but oh man, so yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough for some time here, I can say. But a lot of tributes in every game, it looks like, tonight or today in general. So that's really good to see. Even though, you know, it felt kind of like they should have not had anybody play, but because it's such an emotional day. Sorry, I'm not crying right now. It's just like I feel like burps and stuff coming through as usual. Excuse my burps. But I'd let you know, yeah, if I was crying a bit. But I'm good right now. It's just, it's a lot for sure. So yeah, guys, that's what's going on. Gonna be hard, you know. I want to talk about some sports and the usual stuff, but at the moment, I'm not going to get into that too much. But you know, give me a second here. I'm just actually going into. Let's go to the KANU portal so I could shout out some of the listeners out there in different spots. At least shout out regions. I don't have listeners to shout out, but I have listeners. I just don't. You guys aren't super engaging like that, but I see you guys listen and I appreciate it. I don't know how much you listen. I don't know how long you go into the program, but I hope you're listening deep enough to hear this. So let's see. Stats. Okay. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Australia. And Cambodia. Shout out to you guys out there. Thank you for listening. And the UAE. Got some people out in the UAE checking it out. Thank you. Let me see here. Let's do a little more expansive just to get a little more. Yeah. Still the same people. United Kingdom pops up in there too. Thanks for the support out there in England or any part of the United Kingdom. The UK. So, yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of it. So yeah, I just want to shout out you guys. Appreciate all the listens. Let's go a little longer. Let's just see. India. See some listeners in India too. Okay, hope you guys are picking up again. And I'm sure you are. I have a very small amount of data in a way. I get a broad data, but I don't have like specifics. And then I have a smaller version of that. So that's where I'm going for it. And so if I didn't miss anywhere you're living, no worries. Appreciate all the listens. Thank you very much. Very cool. Very cool, guys. So just keep it going. That's all I can say. I'm going to go into my Twitter account and go from there. Anyways, guys, let me stop again for now. I'll be back later. Hey, good evening, guys. Monday evening here. Just gonna get this podcast my Solocast, my podcast. I'm trying to get this wrapped up here for you guys. Might be a little shorter than usual. Not right now. Like, I know you're like, wait a second, you just started it. Yeah, I know. I'm not stopping right now. I'm just letting you know what's up so I could get this, by the time you hear it, it doesn't matter. But I'm just trying to get this done so it's up in time. So, yeah, another, actually a beautiful day today. I shouldn't say another. Yesterday obviously wasn't so much beautiful. Plus it was, in not just the day itself by looks, but with the tragedy that occurred with Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the other people involved on the helicopter. So that crashed. If I didn't just say that, sorry. So just jumping into it, but yeah, today was actually a very pretty day, very nice weather, super clear. It's like completely opposite in terms of weather and all that. Just definitely a day where if you just, can't help but think, damn, I wish it was like that yesterday. They would have been probably fine. But what are you gonna do, man? We could sit here and somebody should have did this, somebody should have did that, but there's nothing you could do. It doesn't bring anybody back. And, it doesn't do anything. I'm not trying to blame. Things happen. Errors happen. Mistakes happen. And sometimes they're very fatal, and that's exactly what we saw, or had, I should say. And it's devastating for a lot of people, and not just Kobe fans, but people that are directly related to all these people, whether family or close associates in different ways, to all these people. So that's the thing that's really, really tough. It's a big deal, and it's a bigger deal obviously because he was famous. If it was, if he wasn't involved and that did happen, that still would be terrible. But yes, it wouldn't be as looked at. It's just how it goes, and I guess unfortunately, but nevertheless, here we are. So just I've been just seeing online all the love on even the Empire State Building in New York City tonight. They lit it up in yellow, purple, and gold, which is fucking amazing. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing they're doing that. And I'm sure there's some other countless different murals and things going on. Can't cover it all, but and here I see in Burbank at the WB here, the tower, the water tower, they actually have it lit up in purple, so they're also acknowledging the downtown, at least yesterday. I would imagine it's probably going to be this week or something, you never know, but the Grand Wilshire, it's the tallest building downtown now here in LA, they lit it up purple and gold as well. I think they even put 24 on there at the top. Definitely yesterday, last night. I don't know about tonight, but so yeah, it's You know, it's sad. It's still sad. Obviously, it's kind of a sad day. You know, but you know, life does go on. People are, you know, didn't stop anything from happening today. I don't know if no, I did. I think I did cover that. I was talking about last night with the cheesesteak place. Shout out to California again. I just want to give them another shout out. Again, check them out on Twitter, or Instagram, I should say. Probably Twitter too, but at California, just like you think it's spelled. Philly and then Fornia, Fornia, like take out Cali and put in Philly. That's the difference. And yeah, check them out, man. And you know, even if you're not in town or whatever, just follow them or at least check them out, acknowledge, whatever. See what they're about. Check out their food. That's what they're about. And they were damn good too. I got to give it to them. Can't wait to get them again. You know, I did have them a while back, just like a little bit, like a little snacks version, and I thought it was pretty good. But yesterday I got my true, real taste, and yeah, great job. And yeah, that definitely, I'll always, that's something I'll remember for sure. I think that was a great, what a nice thing to do, you know. I wish some more businesses would do stuff like that. Whether it's something like this with Kobe or, you know, any number of things that happen. You know, I think that's a nice thing to do, something like that. And it goes, and you know what? Everybody that came, I'm sure they're all going to remember that. Or some of them will, maybe some won't. But no, I mean, they really will. I think they'll, you know, and it's only good karma. It's only good in every way. So just want to give them another acknowledgement. I thought that was dope as fuck. And yeah, so that's what's going on as far as, you know, everything with that. I gotta make sure to do this now. I'm gonna mention this real quick. I was supposed to talk about it last week. I forgot though. I know there was something, I think I might have even said something like that, and I was trying to remember. But I'm gonna talk about it. So it would have been last week. Maybe, no, 2 weeks. It's gonna be 2 weeks coming up already. Damn, that went fast. Doesn't even seem like it. But I went to see Felipe Esparza. Shout out to Felipe Esparza and Rodrigo Torres of the What's Up Fool podcast and everything else. If you don't know Felipe, check him out. He's a great comedian out here, and you probably would know him from Last Comic Standing if you watched that some years ago. He won on there, and he's been, you know, building his career since and doing really well, really well. Yeah, done really well. So, and he's got a great podcast called What's Up Fool. Check that out too. Just a dope guy overall. Both him and Rodrigo, great dudes, real people. So they were, he's been doing a Spanish-speaking show here in the Valley, pretty much, it's been almost weekly, I think, lately, like on Tuesdays. I don't know if that's always the case, but, you know, he's mostly been doing it like that. And finally, you know, I've been seeing that, and I'm like, oh man, because it's really close to me. It's like where he's doing it. So I just was like, I gotta go. So this, like, a couple weeks ago, I was like, all right, I saw that they were gonna do it. I got in touch, made sure of everything, and then I went out there. And it's called Casa Torres, the restaurant. And nice Mexican restaurant, family restaurant out in Silmar, out here in LA, which is part of the Valley, Silmar. And yeah, went out there, got there. Obviously, it was already packed. People probably were there pretty long there earlier. I couldn't get in at first, so I was like, oh shit. And the security guy, I didn't do, you know, I probably could have done could have thought of something. I'm just bad at lying, to be honest, guys. I'm not that good, and I don't think to really do that, you know, sneaking in places. Wow, here's another one. See, a liquor store here, you know, with acknowledging Kobe. Yeah, there's stuff all over this city, I'm sure. On their signage, they're acknowledging him. Sorry, I just had to mention that while I'm driving here. I'm off Barham, and which is near the 101 here in near Hollywood. So, back to the podcast. So yeah, so Anyways, I go out there. It's Spanish speaking. I don't speak Spanish. I kind of, I know some words. Like, I'll hear it. I kind of know what people are talking about. I can get that. And mind you, Felipe's not the most Spanish speaking guy. He'll say it himself. He didn't really grow up with it like that. He's a lot of Spanglish and stuff. But by doing this, he really wanted to do this, and he's actually been learning more himself. So that was it's kind of another neat aspect. But and yeah, there's been some more rooms they've been doing. That's been more of a thing a little bit lately. I'm not saying it's brand new, like it hasn't been done, but it's pretty cool that it's happening. I think that's great. Why not do things in different languages? You got crowds that want to hear it, and you got every kind of crowd, and we're here in LA, and you got Spanish speaking people. Why not? And even if somebody wanted to do something in Chinese, do it. Fuck it. I know there's people out there, oh no, you're supposed to speak English. People get all fucking upset. But relax. Just relax, guy. So, trust me, he's doing plenty of English shows. You can still see him do that. But anyways, so I got there, I'm sitting there, the security guy, he was like on me, man. I couldn't take a fucking picture. I was just like stuck outside. He was just watching out for me. I don't know what he thought. Maybe I was a paparazzi or who knows. I don't know. But lo and behold, I'm waiting around, and there's like this big patio behind me. A really good looking place. Nice patio and all that. And nobody's around really. And then I look, and I get up, I look, and I see from the back, I think it's Rodrigo, pretty 100%, and it was. But I came up to him. I didn't want to shock. He doesn't know me personally like that. I was hitting him on the Instagram, and like we've chatted through Instagram, but So anyways, I just walked up and introduced myself, and it was him. And he quickly got me. He went ahead and he knew what was up, and he was like, "Here, I just follow me, man. I'll get you in." He told me, he's like, "You just gotta lie to these fools." That was on me. So he got me in, man. He said I was his cousin. He put me in the show, and I just sat there and I fucking watched. Try to keep up as much as I could. Laughed where it was, I thought pretty funny, or thought it was maybe funny. And to be honest, at times I was just kind of acting like I knew what the fuck was going on, because I couldn't, I don't know the language, but I could gather some stuff. I did definitely, at some points I was doing that. So either way, it was definitely dope. And then after Felipe, I got to say what's up to him. He took pictures with everybody. He remembered me from a while back, so that was really nice. And that was it. That's really what I wanted to do anyways. At the end of the day, I was just looking to say what's up and just show some support. Not that he needs my support, but every bit helps. All of it helps, and plus, I share it with people, and some people then learn who the fuck he is. So that's what it's about. And he's a dope dude, man. So shout out to Felipe, shout out to Rodrigo, thank you so much. Shout out to Casa Torres and the security guard here. It's all good. No harm, no foul. Everything went cool. But I appreciate that. It was a dope little fucking... it was really nice, man. It was cool. Definitely support your comics. Myself, I don't do as much as I probably should or like to, but just spreading that word to anybody out there if you're into comedy too. I do it where I can, but we all got lives that we're busy as well, or money, the money's tight, whatever. It's not that cheap. That's why I really appreciate that. That was dope. I mean, nobody had to do that. And then it's dope. Those fans that showed, I mean, they're more hardcore than me in a sense. You had people that waited like 4 hours, so, I feel very fortunate and grateful to be I got to hang there amongst those crowd, and everything. That's awesome. That's love, man. That's just dope to see that happen. Seeing that happen to somebody like Felipe, definitely who's worked and earned it, and is continuing, doesn't stop, But, so that's all I got to say about that. Really dope all the way. And, yeah, so that's all. I didn't get to share that with you guys before, so sorry about that. So, got it in this time. Just remembered. Oh, what else? Actually, too, I don't know. Did I say? Yeah, I think I did bring that up. A few weeks, actually, a little bit before that, too. I was down at the Comedy Store and got to say what's up to Dean Del Rey, my man Dean Del Rey, another great comic. And even more so, I would say he's just a great, what would I call him? Appreciator. I call him an appreciator. Like myself, too. I'm a fan of things and appreciate stuff, but he's really good. Like, he appreciates, he's a music guy. He knows his shit, especially rock. That's his whole thing. I mean, he knows all kinds of music, but he has a great podcast, Let There Be Talk, if you haven't heard, which I still, have to get caught up on some of those, but he just had a huge interview with Kirk Hammett. He's been getting some big ones, and got a nice little nod from Rolling Stone. Got even mentioned because of the interview. But yeah, support him. He also, he likes good stuff, like good leather materials and people that make shit by hand. So he's an appreciator, I call him. He likes, cars and old cars, new cars. Yeah, he's an appreciator, man. I like seeing that. He's not just Mr. About Me and my comedy all the time. Like, he likes to share what he's into, and I dig it. And he's into some cool shit, and some of it I'm into, and some stuff it's not the biggest thing to me, but I dig that. And sometimes somebody else liking something makes you like it a little bit. They turn you on. You go, oh man, that is dope. So yeah, shout out to a guy like him, and or him, I shouldn't say a guy like him. But yeah, I got to see him. I saw him real quick. He was just getting fucking valeted in there at the Comedy Store. I guess he's got a new SUV, newish SUV, a Land Cruiser, I think. Looks dope. I think he got it personalized just the other day, or this other week, I should say, or whatever. Haven't seen the final version of that, but happy for him, man. Happy to see another guy, again, another comedian, another guy busting his ass, been busting his ass, continues to, and without any complaints. Not that he's like fucking doing road work or anything like that, but he's just another dope individual that you want to see around for a long time, and you want to see other people. I want to see more people, hopefully like himself, giving props and being into shit, I guess, if you want to say it without, I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean. Just a great person. Seems all the way around for the most part. I don't know him like super personally, but like I said, what I gather with his podcast, meeting him a couple times and everything, I mean, he is who he is. And so I just want to give that acknowledgement to folks like him. So yeah, man, so that's pretty much what's up right now. Obviously this week, heading into this weekend, it's going to be Super Bowl Sunday, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, but let me take a pause for a second, and you won't even notice it. I'll be right back. Alright, hey guys, just jumping back in here. Sorry about with all the bells and whistles, but want to get right to it, give you as much as I can. I'm not doing anything, obviously I'm like full unedited mode. I don't sit here and contemplate and pre-plan it. I just freestyle. So that's what you're getting in this podcast if you listen to it. So as I was saying, the NFL season is going to be coming to a close. We got the Super Bowl this weekend in Miami. Everybody is there. I think all the teams, everything's ready to go in terms of that. It's going to be Tuesday, so I'm sure media starts up pretty quickly. And we'll see what happens this Sunday. And it's the San Francisco 49ers and the Chiefs. First time ever meeting in a Super Bowl. But each franchise has been in. It's just been pretty long for both of them. And yeah, it's interesting. One it's been 26 years? Because it was 94, so it's 25, 26 years. And the other one, it's been 50 years. 50 fucking years. So it's kind of neat in a way with that little factoid in terms of franchises. It has nothing to do with anybody on either team. You know, they were all not born or just about to be born or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's going to be hopefully a hell of a game. A lot of action, getting ready to go. If you're ready to bet, you got a lot of props, as they call them. So there's going to be all that side action if you're into gambling. This is usually the game that if somebody wasn't a gambler, they become a gambler. And I had a test of that back in my, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and when the Bengals played the 49ers, that was my first, that is my first time I ever bet in my life amongst anybody. I bet another kid in high school, or I'm sorry, junior high. I bet somebody, I don't even know who it was. I wish I remember the person, because I would say their name, or at least their first name. But I bet that the Bengals would win over the 49ers. I guess I was just loving the Bengals that year. I didn't like the Niners for whatever reason already, because they were probably just the favorite. So I always liked the underdog. And still kind of am like that pretty much. But even though I don't really bet, you'd think I would a lot more or something like that. But I don't. I really don't bet on sports. Yeah, not at all, really. I mean, like, been a few. I can like count the times. You know, it's like really small. But yeah, this was like a little cute. You know, as a kid, $5, I think, something like that. It was nothing significant, guys. But you know, it was exciting as a kid. That was like a big thing. You're like, oh, I hope I fucking win. You know, and it wasn't even the money. You're just excited to fucking be able to be like, yeah, I got it. You know. And fantastic Super Bowl, very close. Bengals made it a game and a half for sure, but the Niners won, and it was a great win, no doubt. But and that kind of really, the Niners are responsible to some degree for the demise of what has happened in Cincinnati ever since. Even though, you know, there's other things that Cincinnati could be at blame for, of course, but. Yeah, they haven't had anything significant since that time. Not even in playoffs. I mean, they haven't had much of nothing. It's been like, I mean, it's just bad. So there's no need to really explain that. People, if you watch football or pay attention, you would know that. But, you know, I remember that. I remember when they were a team or were a thing. And let me tell you, they were kind of cool at the time because of that. Absolutely. And if they would have won, who knows the course of that franchise. You know, I don't know if they would have won much more, if anything else, but, you know, that was going to, at least for the time, it would have definitely got them that much more notoriety. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, so the Super Bowl's good for that. I guarantee there's a lot of people that are betting that don't bet. And if it's as simple as even the squares at the office, you bet $5, but you buy a couple squares or whatever, try to win. So yeah, it brings everybody in. People that have nothing to do with sports, don't have nothing to do with betting, and everybody does it. So it's kind of neat for that. Out of any other time, maybe college hoops brings it out too. March Madness, pretty close. And yeah, I would say that's pretty much similar because you got the whole bracket and stuff. But Super Bowl's even more because it's so singular, and there's the only, out of all the sports, it's the only sport with such finality, except, well, obviously besides tennis is finality. Of course, they have sets, and I mean, it's a game, but yet again, in tennis, I'd say it is similar in the sense that, you know, you got that match, and if you don't win, you just don't win. There's not like multiple matches. So that is the same. But in soccer, I guess, too, would probably be pretty close to that, too, in the finality of it. But as we know, yeah, I'd say Super Bowl and football very, very high up because it's a limited amount of games. Again, somebody that knows soccer better would be able to argue something with that. Maybe, I don't know the amount they play. I don't know. I don't understand all of soccer, how they work with their different leagues and all this different shit. But just as far as, like, you know, a clear-cut thing, NFL, it's, yeah, it's very, you know, it's a short season, really. I mean, you only have one game a week, and so many weeks of it, and then that's it. So it's very, 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 everything matters much more the whole time, pretty much. Except for, like, yeah, the first 5-6 weeks, kind of, you know, kind of a toss-up, in a way. But that's about it, you know. But, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a game, I hope. And I hope you guys, wherever you're watching, you know, it's a good time. I have no clue exactly where we're going to see it yet, or what you know, haven't made any significant plan. Good time to be in Vegas, too. It's a good place to watch the game. Haven't done that, but I would like to. But it's cool, you know, either way. Just watch it, you know, the bottom line is anywhere where you got a TV and you can see it, great. You're seeing it just as good as if anybody else, especially these days. All this high def and everything else, you're not losing out, man. If you're not at the game, it's fine. I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm sure those are great experiences, especially if you got people you want to be with that really love it too. That's obviously that much more special. And if it's your team, you know. But, it's a lot of money, man. People, $5,000 tickets. I don't know what the face value of those tickets were, but they're selling for upwards of 5 G's just to get in the nosebleed. So it's insanity. But people will spend it. People will spend it. I love my Steelers, and I can't really say I justify doing that. Now, if I'm making that much more money, like if I'm making some real significant money, I'm not even saying millions, but, you know, like a few $100,000 type shit. If I'm making some, you know, pretty significant money, then I could see, yeah, I probably could see, like, doing that. I could definitely see that, you know, but to save and, you know, to save up and really try to, like, nah, I ain't doing that. Like, become, you know, making it where it's like a little bit of a life-saving situation. I don't think so. You know, that's not, I'd rather do that for a trip. You know, I'd rather save up for a really special trip or something that I want to do. I could see doing that more so than a fucking one game type thing that you have no guarantees that, you know, your team's gonna win. You know, it's like you gotta suck it up if you lose. Like, oof, like that's brutal. But you gotta make that commitment if you're gonna go ahead and spend that much money for a ticket like that. You gotta just go, hey, whatever happens, I don't care. I'm going, and I'm gonna be there for the experience. And you know what? Hats off to you if that's what you want to do. I'm not mad at you, man. Like, anybody, you know, there's things that seem ridiculous and we could clown or say it's ridiculous, and it is, but, you know, for somebody else, if that's really important to them and they really want to go and it's something special and they're cool with it, by all means, go for it, man. Like, live it up. I mean, as much as $5,000, it's a good chunk of money, no doubt, but it's not like it used to be, you know. It's almost like $1,000 these days, in a way. I mean, you know, depending on what kind of money you make, I mean, you could recover from that. you can recover from $5,000 pretty, not too bad. Take a little while, but, it's not like, oh my God, I'll never make that ever in my life or something. That's bullshit. If you really are a working person and you do pretty good, like you make pretty good money, or you can, figure out things to make money, like you have a hustle about yourself. And I'm just talking in pretty general way. I'm not saying an even high level, but you could get $5,000 is not like insurmountable money, So yeah, I don't want to like, oh my God, as much as it has the sound of like, oh my God, that's insane. But, if you break it down, it's like, nah, it's really not. It is, but it isn't, what I mean? It's all about what it means to that person. Now, a Kansas City fan, probably both those fans, honestly, if you're a long-term fan of either of those teams, and you did it the old school way, like they used to, like cats would do, where you would you keep saving money every year and you put a Super Bowl fund together. Like every year you start feeding to that, and if it doesn't happen, you just roll it over and roll it over. I mean, I don't know how many people do that. Probably still goes on more than we know, who knows, but that's really the best method, I would say. And if you're doing that, you're a Kansas City fan or those guys, either one, you are far beyond good. You have plenty in that Super Bowl bank to go ahead and get yourself a ticket for a few grand. But probably even better yet, that person is plugged in and they're getting face value, I hope. And that's probably much less. I think, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe in my mind, I'm just hoping for that, even though it doesn't really matter. I'm just making up figures, but it makes me a little happier to think about it that way. But I think face value starting price is like $1,500. And that's a lot more. That's like, okay, that's not out of control. Especially if you've been saving up the money to do so. But yeah, again, if you've been doing a certain Super Bowl fund, like I said, somebody's been thinking like that over the years. Hell, even me as a Steeler fan, if I started that back at the, after the Packers loss, and to now, if I started saving, I don't know, fucking $1,000 a season, $1,000 a season, I'd be in great shape to go to a Super Bowl coming up. You know what I mean? But let's get it real. It's real life. I don't know if anybody can keep that money just sitting there the whole time, because real shit happens in life, no matter what it is. You lose jobs, you do this, you do that. So it's kind of hard to just go, nope, that's my Super Bowl money. But I'm sure there's some fucking stories with that. So, yeah. I wonder how much that goes on. That was I swear to God, I think that was I'm almost certain that was a thing. I'm pretty sure, and it probably still, there's a few people that do it, but, it's, it's a lot different these days. People take out mortgages, they do everything else they got to do to, do the things they want to do. So, anyways, but that's going on. I still feel, if I haven't said it already, which I know I have, but Niners, I still feel really strong about them. I'm not going to give, numbers, they're going to do this or that, but I think that they're going to win, And probably I think they're going to win a bit strong, That's kind of what I see, but, the game's got to get played, so let's see, and kudos to the Chiefs. It's not to shit on them. I want them to possibly win or just do well, but I don't know, man. I feel pretty strong about the Niners, man. So yeah, that's about it. But what else is going on? Yeah, just a nice little chill night. Stop by my spot, and it's you feel it. Still, people are bummed out, man. You could feel it, man, about this Kobe passing away. Especially here in LA, yeah. It's, so far. You know, I haven't been like all over town. Makes me kind of want to do some Uber, which I think I might do something like that this week. Just because you know, doing something like that, you're going to interact some public. You know, you get a little feel for what's happening. You know, but not like I need that confirmation. But I don't know. Makes you just wonder. That's all. But so yeah, that's pretty much what's up. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of wild. It's crazy. A lot of tributes. As I say, you know, I'm sure there's gonna be something at the Super Bowl. I went down. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff for a while, man. Especially here in LA. This one stings. Nipsey Hussle wasn't just but a year, so that's still fresh. I mean, it's been really, yeah, it's been sad, man. It's just been too much. Yeah, it's been too sad, and as much as there's always like positive things that do go on, but in terms of our, you know, people that you hope would be around, or, you know, whatever, like the Kobes or a Nipsey or some, you know, somebody that's of something, you know, all these people, Prince, I mean, you just keep naming it. It's like a curse to even be famous, for real. Not that it's not new in a way, you know, it's not new, but lately it's just like, man, I mean, really, it's pretty fucking, the list is bad. It's a lot of depressing passings. I mean, it's one thing we all can accept of, you know, a death of natural causes, or you know, whatever it is, you know what I mean, certain a disease, like we could accept more of that, but these tragic, or like, you know, suicides, and, you know, it's just been so many in a specific, you know, kind of around a certain thing, you know, entertainers or famous people, you know, of all sorts. So it just starts to feel like, does anybody just die normal that are in those fields? But they do. We just, you know, obviously it's heightened because, you know, the most famous ones seem to be going in the bad ways, you know, the worst ways. Yeah, but, you know, but you know what? It happens all the time to regular people, you know? So we have to realize, like, as much as we're just, maybe it's partially just, we project, you know, that that's not supposed to happen to these guys, but it's like, well, look, they're people too, man. They're not robots. They're not you know, some supernatural beings, you know, like we like to think they are. So we're kind of foolish to think that they can't just die of some, like, bullshit, you know. So there's that too. You know, that's kind of what I see is like, I don't know, man. So anyways, obviously, can't help it. This podcast is going to center around a lot of that, or it just did. I'm actually going to wrap it up. No, we're wrapping up. It's over. Going to get it all finished here. About to get home. There's nothing else for me to cover at this point, guys. I'm pretty much done. But I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and continuing to listen if you are. And I hope you're good. Just be safe. And appreciate each day. That's what we got to do when we learn. You know, we should learn from these. If there's something we should get from these situations, I should really say, is to do those things, to appreciate things more. You know, that's what death, whether it's a person like this or somebody in your family, we should all always try to react from death at some point. You try to just get to where it's like, hey, you know what? Well, I know they'd want me to really live and live on with my life and do all that, you know, and, you know, it's hard to just be that way, but that's really the truth. We have to, you know, so I hope that's what we can all do. So have a great week, guys. Thanks for listening, and I'm out. Peace.